Good morning and a warm welcome to you all from Women Warriors Network. And the topic today is why business relationships are key to successful growth. Hope you've all managed to have a nice summer. I mean, in London, the weather wasn't too great, but, you know, we did what we have to do. And with travel slightly easing, some of us, I know, have been able to kind of get away. So once again, we have an amazing lineup at the Inspirational Global Speakers, which I will introduce shortly. My name is Sandydonnellygroup. I think a lot of you know me now, and I'm getting to know a lot more people here today as you're all coming in. I'm a passionate advocate for health and well-being, as well as female empowerment, which I support very much so. Women Warriors was brought together amidst the pandemic. When my health retreats were put on hold, I realized there were many women out there looking for support. Women Warriors Network is a platform to connect, contribute, and develop global relationships, diverse and inclusive of all cultures. It's all about taking your destiny in your hands, making you extraordinary and unique. Men, yes, men, we love you too. We need you and we want you around. But for Women Warriors Network, this is for a place for women to shine, share their wisdom and knowledge so we can learn from each other. So my new little phrase, I've got to throw it in today, is connectional intelligence. It's about getting ahead and delivering results by harnessing the power of your relationship, which is related to today's topic, why business relationships are key to successful growth. I love people and I love connecting with people, sometimes pretty random people, but they're all relevant in some way or the other. So it's really good to always have this building of a network, hence why the subject is as it is today. So today's incredible speakers we have, it's Noha Hefney, founder and CEO, People of Impact, not Compact, Impact in Dubai. We have Heidi Malice, Communications Agency Director in the UK, Fatima, CEO of Kairree in India, and Damla Hasenclever, I love that name, founder of Social Influence Web and Digital Lab. With almost 800 signups, once again, I'm thrilled to see the rapid growth of people uniting for our monthly events. Women Warriors Network is a platform for extraordinary yet ordinary women to share their knowledge and wisdom to a large and diverse audience. So we're going to start with introducing Noha. Let me just get all this ready. Let me find you up here. So Noha is founder and CEO of People of Impact, award-winning social entrepreneur, global consultant, speaker, and co-author. With 20 years experience in communication and international affairs in the private sector and the UN. Let me just highlight you here now, Noha, as I introduce you. I had a lovely chat with Noha yesterday, day before. This is the problem when I don't have people on the front line. There, I've got you here. Going to spotlight you. And if you just like to unmute yourself, Noha.
Thank you. Thank you,
Sandy.
Sandy.
I have you. So a huge welcome to you and thank you for joining us today. It's a delight to have you on board. So People of Impact, I mean, what a strong and powerful name for a company anyway, for one. You are very passionate about promoting human values. This must have a positive influence on the business connections that you build.
Absolutely. I mean, I would start by saying that values are the foundation of everything in life. It is our compass. It is what guides us to make decisions in our personal and professional life. And so definitely there is an impact on business connections and on the relationships that we build. And in my own case with People of Impact, I mean, you know, my personal values are impact, authenticity, justice, excellence, and freedom. So that is very well reflected in the business that I decided to found, and you know, and it's reflected in all the relationships that I build and cultivate. So every relationship or partnership that I build has to deliver impact. It has to be genuine and authentic. I've always been purpose-driven, heart-centric, even when I was in the corporate world. But at the end of the day, I also want to partner and connect with people who are equally purpose-driven and heart-centric, who care, not just about profit, but also about purpose, who care to make a difference in this world. And for me personally, justice and fairness are very strong values. So again, in business, I think we all should operate with high integrity. And in building partnerships, it's very important to look at building connections that provide mutual value, that are built on trust, on respect, on integrity. So I couldn't, I don't want to take up so much time in answering this question because I could go on forever. I'm a passionate advocate of human values. So I'll stop here and I'll just say that values are the cornerstone of every single business connection and the foundation of every business and the foundation of everything in life. And we need to stand true to our values, and that will only make us more successful in life, because when we stand up for our values, we come across as genuine, authentic, we connect better with people, and we are believable. So it builds our credibility personally and also on the business front. So thank you, Sandy.
Oh, no, I absolutely, totally agree with you there. And I think being a nice, good, kind person will help develop your relationships, because you have those strong values, the integrity, as you said, pushing forward. This is the way we build our network, and you want to build a good, strong network. And I think being the people we are, this is how we will build and continue to let it grow. So no, that's lovely. And that's lovely to hear that, Noha. So you believe, I also believe, everyone can be a person of impact, whether it is positive or negative impact. What are the three main strategic pillars you focus on?
Yeah, personally, in my journey, it's really been very much like you, women empowerment and gender equality. But I also have a very strong passion for youth and developing their skills, their leadership, and building new mindsets that can really enable a future that is more inclusive. So I focus a lot in my work on that particular group. And also, obviously, I started my career in the humanitarian field, working in refugee camps. So that has never left my heart and my mind. And I take that in to every single job or career or partnership that I get into. And mainly, this is about not leaving anyone behind. So it's about inclusion. It's about focusing on vulnerable groups. Whether you're in business or in a foundation or in a social enterprise, it really doesn't matter. Or even if you're unemployed and just a simple mother at home, thinking of others and leaving no one behind is a very important concept for me. So I would say that my mission, and it took me a very long time to really understand what impact do I want to unleash to the world, and how do I want to show up to the world, and what it revolves around is really about igniting and unleashing everybody's purpose and passion to become a force for good. And that does not have to be in a humanitarian context. This can be by simply, understanding our inner resources, the gifts and talents that we have been granted and gifted naturally and biologically, and really understanding these strengths and gifts and then unleashing them in the service of others and in service of humanity. And once we do that, we show up authentically, we live in purpose, and we create impact. And so this is what I wanted to share on this question.
So I've got to keep unmuting myself. Thank you for that. Noha, I'm a strong believer in that as well, with inclusion, and whatever people's background, wherever they come from, whatever they're doing. There was always a lovely saying many years ago, and I've always stuck with it. And it said, if you're passing by the cleaner in the street or in the building or whatever, say hello. They're human, they're a person, they want to be spoken to. And we had in our building a cleaner, I'd always say hello to him. He'd be in the lifts cleaning. And then one day he said to me, I'm leaving tomorrow. I've got a new job. And I said, oh, well done, you know. And he said, I just want to say thank you to you. You're the only person in this building who always said good morning, said hello. And he said, that's always going to stick with me. And it's like, made me very emotional, because I thought I was just saying hello and being friendly. But again, everybody is as important as the next person. So
absolutely. And if you allow me, because you know it resonates so much with me. My hope is that, you know, the education systems of the future evolve to include human values, include helping young people discover purpose early on and not as late, you know, as we do maybe. And then lastly, inclusion, you know, and I think it's more important than ever if we want to see a more balanced and inclusive
world. By doing that, we would just build a better world, create this good environment for everybody. Maybe people will be, you know, there'll be a lot more peace in the winter and take these values on board.
Absolutely.
And then finally, Noha, business relationships are the key to successful. You motivated as a multilingual leader, which I'm sure I can guess this.
Yeah, trilingual, but it's okay.
Trilingual, wow.
So yes, so basically I think being, you know, multilingual, trilingual, I think opens your mind to understanding different cultures. When you learn new languages, you learn about history, you learn about culture, and you understand people better. So definitely in the sense of connecting in business, you know, it opens up doors. You break the ice much more quicker in the beginning when you start connecting with people, but it also makes you a good mediator, a problem solver, you know, because understanding different cultures, speaking different languages, you know, you become that person in the middle of all these sometimes difficult conversations that, you know, is trying to bridge the points of view, bridging cultures. So I think it has tremendous value. And also, you know, you by stretching yourself out of your comfort zone to learn new languages, you also stretch your mental, you know, capability. So you also become a much more easygoing person, much more mentally flexible, which in business is again an invaluable skill. But so yeah, in a nutshell, you know, it can only be a good thing to learn new languages, to be multilingual. It will open up career opportunities that you would never think about. I ended up working in Tunisia a couple of years ago, back in 2006, because I was a French speaker. And so when selecting, this was the, I guess, the advantage that made them select me versus very qualified other candidates for the role. So, but more than that, and what really speaks to me is becoming a global citizen. And, you know, the world is becoming more and more borderless. You know, we're connecting together across, you know, digital technology, and the more languages we will speak, the more we will relate to others. And as we have seen with COVID, you know, all the issues that we are confronting as people, as humanity, as societies are transcendent, you know, beyond any culture. They affect everyone. So, you know, language is just one component that just makes it easier to connect and facilitate the building of these relationships and becoming globally minded and global citizen. Cannot hear you, Sandy, sorry.
Thanks, Noha, sorry. I totally agree with you. And I think with the language side of things, being English, it's been very easy, being born in England, raised in England, and majority of the world speak English. We become quite lazy in not learning another language. And it's one of my regrets actually in life. So through life, I'm always taking up Spanish and French. And when I was in the Middle East, trying to take up Arabic, which was an absolute no. But yes, I all credit to you, you know, and for those who speak another language or several languages. I mean, amazing. And it does open the world up a lot more for you. But Noha, thank you very, very much. It's just amazing to have you on board. And please watch this space, because Noha and I are going to be doing amazing things in the world. With our women, the impact with this female empowerment. So yes, there will be more to follow with Noha, people of impact. It was amazing to have you on board.
Thank you very much. It's my honor to be with all these wonderful women and people as well, men as well. Thank you. Thank you,
and
Sandy.
It's our pleasure to have you. Thank you, Noha. Take care. Thank you. Okay, next on our lineup of inspirational speakers is the amazing Heidi Malice. She's Communications Agency Director. I'd love to learn all this all off by heart, but I can't. Having spent over 20 years in communications and reputation management, Heidi helps people bring their personal and corporate communications to life. Heidi is a speaker, presenter, and moderator. She has fronted and chaired many events, including product launches, town halls, and panel discussions. So Heidi, you've worked in communications and reputation management for some time, advising everyone from supermen to superwomen warriors like our audience today. You're a communication coach. So how do you help people build business relationships?
Sandy, thank you. And actually, I need to say that I'm actually sort of broadcasting this from our studio in London. So I'm not going to read you the news, because that would probably switch everyone off. But this isn't sort of, you know, my home environment. But what I want to pick up on first and foremost is something that Noha said, and something that you were talking about is language and speaking languages. I don't speak any other languages. I speak French very, very badly. The one language that I use is simplicity. I've worked with people from over 50 countries, hundreds and hundreds of leaders and individuals, those who are at the top of their career and those who are progressing. And I don't think that we can truly put a distinction between, you know, communication and connection and relationships, because we are communicating every single day. It's something that we do from the day that we're born. Whether we're crying, we have a smile. But I think that, you know, what we have to realize and recognize that our communication, whether they're on a Zoom call like this, whether it's a WhatsApp message, whether it's an email, whether it's, you know, just a telephone call, what we say, how we say it, and who we say it to forms the relationship, builds the relationship, and also shapes the way that we're perceived, which is our reputation. And if you think about the fundamental importance of our communication and what it's capable of doing, because how we communicate often, you know, depends on the outcome of whether we get a job or not, whether we win a new piece of business, whether we get investment. I think if we all took a moment to think about how much time we invest in our communication. So, for example, when was the last time you all recorded yourself on a telephone call when you were having, you know, a meeting with someone? Did you listen to it back? What was your tone of voice? Was there energy? Was you talking really, really quickly? Were you talking really slowly? Did you actually sound quite boring? You know, what about if you recorded yourself on a Zoom? Were you animated? Were you not? Were you just actually having what I call resting Zoom face and looking really bored? Okay. All of these things that we are being forced to do today in this sort of, you know, this virtual environment are absolutely critical to forming, shaping, building and maintaining relationships. But really good communicators don't happen overnight. And people ask me all the time, is it like, you know, a great communicator's born or made? It's like relationships. They take a long, long time to build. They need to be nurtured. They need to be, you know, there are skills that are acquired. You know, how we build relationships with someone is often more about how we make them feel rather than what we make them think. And, you know, there's a great quote, which is, you know, if people forget what you said, they forget what you did, but they don't forget the way they make them feel. You make them feel. And it takes 0.2 seconds to form a first impression. And people like, Barack Obama is always, I ask people sort of, you know, questionnaires about who they think is a great communicator. Barack Obama always comes up. And they say, but he's a natural. No, he's not. If you read his book, Promised Land, you know, you realize how much time he dedicates to, and how much time he invests in ensuring that his performance actually delivers what are the kind of like, you know, words on a piece of paper and how you bring them to life. Because when you bring something to life, you will be stand out, you'll be memorable, and that's how a relationship starts.
Unmute myself. Heidi, you know something which I really picked up on there when you said like rest in Zoom face. I know we've all, you know, majority of people who are on this Zoom call today, we've all experienced it through lockdown. It's kind of the way forward. And, you know, I've been in many a meeting or speaking, and I know when I'm speeding up my voice or then I'm a bit hesitant. So I'm kind of quite aware of it. And it's only when, as Heidi said, unless you've recorded that, do you realize that you can look back over it. So it most certainly doesn't come naturally. I think the thing which shines or sticks out is that you as an individual, you know, your personality is what will shine through. And then you need to practice and get through the other parts to be a super Zoomer. So no, thanks, Heidi. Heidi, but what tips can you give us? Give us a couple of tips on what we should do to communicate better.
I think I just want to pick up on something you said, Sandy, which is about personality, because we often define ourselves whether we're introverts or extroverts. Okay, the difference between an introvert and extrovert isn't about sort of, you know, how you come across to the outside world. It's about how we energize ourselves. So introverts will typically energize themselves by being on their own. Extroverts need people. So that kind of naturally makes them a little bit more drawn to sort of, you know, perform or be center of attention. But in terms of, you know, personality, when you're communicating on a stage or a platform, and let's face it, we are all on camera every single day now. I'm not a trained actress or a performer, and I'm certainly not a singer, as Sandy will know in the past when she's heard some of my renditions of I Will Survive. But what we have to realize is that we now have to invest more time in thinking how we're coming across. And I have three golden rules. So they're not tips, they're golden rules. And it's 3 Ps, okay? One is your pitch. If you want to be quoted, you have to be quotable. If you want to be remembered, you have to be rememberable. And what I mean by pitch is that you will be asked every single day, or broadly speaking, every single day, who you are and what your company does. As women warriors, you know, your elevator pitch, which is 30 seconds, 60 seconds, has to be really succinct, really powerful, and really compelling. So when people ask me what I do, I basically say I make people's communications stand up, and I make them show up on camera, in person, and online. And what that means is that I help them define what to say, how to say it, and whom to say it to. And I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals over the years, and ensure that when they're delivering keynote speeches, when they're delivering a town hall, when they're appearing on Sky News, that they feel confident and what they say is really compelling. And I don't know, and I could be wrong, I don't know how many hundreds of people are on this Zoom call at the moment, when the last time was that you actually took the time to think about your elevator pitch and how it comes across and how you say it and how you make it fun. Don't be boring, be creative. You know, I work with people and all they do is when I say, what do you do? They just reel off your CV. So the first thing is the pitch. Spend a little bit of time on formulating and finding the way to deliver yourself and present yourself. The second is preparation. Never, ever wing a meeting or wing a presentation or wing a conversation. You know, you have to think about what you want to say and what the messages are that you want to convey to your audience. Because if we don't, things don't have any structure. So I know what I want you to hear from me, and hopefully you will. And if you don't, I'm not succeeding, is that you'll take away these 3 Ps, which is the, you know, your elevator pitch and preparation and thinking about what you've got to say. It's how people stand out. It also ensures that if you are on a Zoom call or if you are presenting, you don't use lots of filler words like ums and ers and you don't know where to go, because that makes you less believable. And so being believable and being memorable and building relationships and communications all go hand in hand. The final one is performance. There is a little bit of, you know, kind of, you know, I sometimes call myself a chameleon, you know, that there is a little bit of this sort of, you know, when I sit here in this studio surrounded by no one and lights and all of this stuff, and I'm just looking directly at the camera when actually what I want to do is look at Sandy and I want to look at, you know, all of the other people. I don't. You have to perform, you have to project, you have to put at least 20% more energy into everything that you're saying and doing when you're on camera. And you have to, Bill Clinton was famous for this, and politicians, broadly speaking, are quite good at it, is that when they meet you and they shake your hand, they look into your eyes and they make you feel like you're the most important person in the room. And that's because 2 of your most important nonverbal communication skills are your eyes. So if you want to talk to someone, and especially if you want to talk to them in this environment, look at the camera, not at the person, like I'm talking to Sandy now. So I look straight at the camera, so I'm talking to you. Smile. A smile, you know, lights up a lens, and use hand gestures. And just think whenever you're going onto a call, regardless of whether it's internal or a pitch, think of it as your stage and your opportunity to light up the lens, and it's lights, camera, action.
Thank you, Heidi. I love those 3 Ps. I definitely need to work on all of the Ps you've just mentioned. So that makes a lot of sense as well. In today's world, we definitely need a Heidi on board to guide us and to get us where we need to be. Heidi, your final question here. I know you're also a moderator and presenter, a very natural presenter, I must say. Most recently presenting and fronting the launch of a boutique cruise ship, the Spirit of Adventure for Saga, which actually, if anybody wants to view it, it's on YouTube and it's amazing, actually. Is this something you're going to do more of now the event world is alive and kicking again?
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely love presenting and moderating, and the reason I love doing it is because it's bringing together what kind of, you know, we used the word purpose earlier, what the purpose, the ambition and the vision of an event is. And a moderator and a presenter is the anchor for that. And they can sort of, you know, make or break an event. And so, in fact, I'm going to be here next week, sort of doing a virtual leaders summit with clients all around the world. And the way I sort of think of it is that, you know, I can be available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, ship launches, and actually people can just use and abuse me to ensure that what I say is the messages that they want to get out there about their company.
Very good. Well, I think we'll look forward to seeing Heidi on all the big screens. Netflix, it will all be coming through soon. Thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you for joining us and for those tips. And I'll put the links to everybody's businesses and what they do afterwards when I share the recording of this. So thank you, Heidi. Okay, I'm moving on now to our next amazing speaker, Sarah Fatima. CEO of, is it Kairree? Do I say Kairree, Sarah? So anyway, Sarah was a features writer, documentation and translator with UNICEF Care Plan India before setting up her fashion company in India. So Sarah, times are tough globally, with many small businesses unable to survive. Tell us about your business and how you're doing. Let's unmute you so we can hear you. And thank you for joining from India. So welcome.
Hello, Sandy.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
This is good afternoon. Yeah, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Fatima from Lucknow, India, and I'm starting my own brand, Kairree, with the name of Kairree, and that's Kairree actually. Kairree. Okay. So I've been started with as a features writer with UNICEF and some of the Hindustan Times newspapers. Then I moved on to setting up, working as a consultant to various designers, leading Indian designers, Tarun Teliani, Rohit Bal, and I was doing consultancy for them for chikanकारी, which is my trade. This is an ancient form of embroidery work, mainly practiced in northern India, and mainly in Lucknow city. So that was the building sort of a building platform for me to start my work as working as a consultancy for various fashion designers, top fashion designers. And it was a very difficult task because my clients and customers and my employees are poles apart. My embroiders, my workers, laborers, they are, they come from the very vulnerable, low strata of the society. So literacy rate is very low, and there are lots of health issues. So it was like managing, two different sides, acting as a catalyst and a buffer between them, taking the work from the designers and getting the work done from my employees, which are, very different. And relationships, my relationships are the, I can say that they are the core of my business, actually. Soul of my business, because I can't, I have to two different kind of people, I have to, join them and, make them work for us. So it was a difficult task, but somehow after 18 years of experience in working, I have, come to the point where I can very easily now I can manage them. So like before pandemic, I planned and was into starting my own brand, luxury brand Kairree. But if I was sort of, I can say that of course pandemic was a very bad phase for us, but I somehow, we somehow tied out of it with our workers. So we sort of did not, stopped working. I had to supply all the job work to their homes. They were working from homes. And mainly my trade, my business is solely women-oriented business. All my workers, all my employees, except one or two office staff I have. Sorry for the men folk, but we are all women. This is my business is totally women oriented. Yeah, all my employees are women, and now this is the form of embroidery which is very prevalent all over the world. So, and this is very I can say it is very undertraded. Our ensembles, that exotic, exquisite ensembles which we make and the designers sell are, they are very high-end clienteles. So, and my workers are from the, very low strata. So relationship is something which is very difficult to maintain, but they somehow form the core and the strongest element in my business. keeping in during pandemic. We had hell of a lot time keeping them intact. We had to protect them. We had to supply groceries to them. We had to look into the everything. So this sort of, it united us together. So we were through it all supplying. We had to, I had to, since I am the only one right now, I am the owner of my brand. Obviously I'm responsible for all the decisions I have to take. But somehow I had to go through in this pandemic with my employees so that we can come out victorious. And God, touch wood, we are victorious. We have started building up again from July. We are into work mode again. And inshallah, next month, we are launching our brand online.
Oh, Sarah, that's amazing. But listen, you're doing this all yourself with your employees. So as you said, with literacy problems and people from vulnerable areas, you've got that added of, so I take it you're training them up, you're trying to guide them in every way to keep your business going. But I also know something I'd read also with you. So a lot of the employees, they're paid a very low wage. And I know from your company, you made sure you pay them more, which is incredible.
Yes, we were our company was the first company which, we raised their pays enormously. Rest of the vendors and people who were wholesalers who were getting these things, clothes made, they were paying very little amount of money. If I tell you, you will be surprised to know how they survive on it.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe $100 a month is, what do you think it is? It is nothing to survive for a whole month.
Yes.
So we as a company, while I was, connecting designers so that they get properly paid. So for 18 years, I was actually getting the designers to invest in them. We invested in our employees. I contracted all the designers to come and invest and get their clothes made by these women. And we are working with clusters. That is a cluster model we are using. We make a small group of women together. They sit together and then they do their job work. So that way we can manage clusters easily.
Yes.
And yes, and that way we once a month or twice a month we hold health camps, and then little bit we teach them how to operate in banks and how to go there, and different schemes which have been set up by the governments, how they can benefit from it. So this is a different perspective of work we are doing, along with making beautiful clothes. This is also we have to maintain with our employees. And of course, with our customer and clients, while pandemic, I'd like to really, I'd like to applaud, not to say this, but I would like to mention this, that most of the orders which we were making at that time was dumped on us. So actually, we kept quiet. We said, okay, let this pass, then we'll talk about it. And later on, we sort of sat together and we decided. So half of the orders they took up, and rest of the half we have to take that on us. So finally, I'll be selling them on my website. So see, that is also a different point. That is, we can't, we cannot let the negativity come into it in our relations, even with customers or employees. So the positivity and the healthiness has to be maintained on both the levels, on both the sides, with employees, with the clients and customers. So finally, I really thank God for that. We somehow came out of it with happy, maybe not very rich, but still we survived it. Together we survived. So that is
well
something. Yeah. That was a
well
very
done. And onwards and up with it, though, because clearly with your positive ways and your motivation to your employees, you're going to keep pushing it forward, and you deserve a lot of credit and hopefully a lot of building more relationships. And I hope you can build some through him, which takes me to our next question. So building relationships is key to successful growth. So do you have outlets in India like networking events or groups to give you these opportunities to grow?
Definitely. There are lots of opportunity, and let me tell you one mantra which I use for building up my relationship is cuisine. I really call them over to my place, and then I feed them very delicious food, all the biryanis and all that, so that sort of makes up.
Listen, that's a great way to build relationships.
Yeah, I found
Feed
that it
people.
really works. Yes, we come, we enjoy lunch together, we eat good food, and that sort of, removes all the negativities and grievances among us. So again, we are together on a plate of biryani. That's my pure short mantra for making up my relationship. And small gifts which we distribute to the little kids. Of the family. That really strengthens our relationships.
Sarah, you must share the website with us, because I couldn't find it. I didn't get it, and I'll make sure we share that, your website.
Sure. Thank you. I'll share that
on your profile. And sorry, Sarah, finally, I'm just conscious of time here, and we still have Damla. So post-COVID business recovery, so you're planning now to take your business online. And this hopefully is going to really help you, push you up there and get you out there a lot more. So is that what you're launching next year?
Yeah, next month I'm launching my brand.
Next month.
Next month, yeah, inshallah. Next month I'll start off with my brand online, and obviously I'll introduce all my employees, all my workers with my brand. They'll be there with me, and in my first fashion show they'll be there. I plan to launch them on ramp also, one or two girls, young girls. So yes. Apart from with models, they'll be there working with us. So we work. I'll tell you that my relationship with my workers and my customers, clients and customers, they are the biggest thing I achieved. Not if I count my like returns on investment and return on relationships we talk about. So I get out of return on investment, I just get dollars and cents and dirhams. But on return on relationship, I get lot more happiness. People together, we work as a family, trust, goodwill, and of course for the next generation in their family, we also concentrate on making that at least one child in their family is educated. Yes. So look into that, they are admitted in the proper schools, they continue with their education. So at least the one child in their family, while they are working, at least next generation, they are having some people as an educated. So that's the little bit of efforts we do to maintain our business. Of course, profits have to be counted.
Of course they do.
What we earn out of it is a goodwill, trust, and happiness together, sharing our joys and everything together. So relationships happens to be the biggest core soul of my business.
Yes, I think we'll all agree with that. Sarah, listen, that's incredible to hear your story. And I think, even something as simple as for us, we take education here in the UK and Europe quite for granted. And when we hear of you speaking that if you can get just one member of the family educated, it will build that better future for you. But good luck with the launch of your online business. Please keep in touch with us so we can hear the progress and how you're getting on. And I hope one day we're going to sample some of your lovely Indian food, my favorite food, and also of your fashion. I mean, it'd be lovely to see samples of it. So once you're launched, I'll share it up with all the network here, and let's build more relationships.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Right, finally, last but not least, Damla from Germany. So, Damla, I love your surname, Hasenclever, which I think, clever is the best name ever. And that rhymed also. So founder of Social Influence Web and Digital Lab, working with entrepreneurs and small businesses to establish and grow their online presence with custom branded websites. So Damla, as founder of Social Influence and Digital Lab, this must be thriving with so many companies taking their businesses online. Tell us more.
Well, Sandy, thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me to this group. I'm so happy to be here. My last name is a German name, by the way. It means clever rabbit. But I'm originally from Turkey. I was born and raised in Turkey, but I've been living in Germany for the last 3 years. Like previously, I lived in the UK, in Qatar, and now I'm in Germany. I'd like to answer your questions with some slides, actually. Would that be possible? Yeah. All right. I think you're muted, but I think you said yes.
I did say yes. So I think I have to then accept share screen.
Yeah,
I think it should be able to go on.
No, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. I think you need to give me host, maybe.
So this is when things get complicated for me. So I'm going to make you a co-host, and I think this gives you.
I think it should work now. Yeah, right. So here we go. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, great. So yeah, this is me. So my name is Damla Hasenclever. Again, I'm the founder of Social Influence Web and Digital Lab. Over 10 years of digital marketing and communications experience in global companies such as Vodafone, Sony, Qatar, Philips, and Saatchi allowed me to gain a lot of marketing projects experience, including leading digital marketing, advertising, PR, and SEO agencies, taking role in digital marketing projects, global websites and online product launches, taking part in online user experience researches and training, and running marketing campaigns worth millions of dollars. So currently I share my experience and knowledge with entrepreneurs and small businesses from all around the world. I help them start and grow their online presence. So I established Social Influence in the summer of 2020, in the middle of pandemic, actually. It is a boutique web and digital agency that helps mainly service businesses establish and grow their online presence with custom branded WordPress websites. I design and develop websites, visual identity design, and digital marketing services such as SEO, email marketing, or Google services. So I design and develop websites based on online user experience principles. So I don't only create websites that look pretty, but also that works, like functionality is very important. So all of my plans include on-page SEO, testing for mobile devices, performance, and security. So I create websites with personality. I value learning and growth. I follow up, I catch up with up-to-date like news with the latest trends, and I aim to provide you with the most creative solutions, both visually and strategically. I offer an easy process because I know it is difficult to run a business, and I constantly work on improving my processes for you to save time and effort. So I start my projects with a strategy questionnaire. Speed of service, this is one of the reasons my clients prefer to work with me. I am pretty fast in what I do. And I'm experienced and reliable. I have over 10 years of professional digital marketing experience. So this allowed me to gain experience in like SEO, email marketing, or like performance, or like a lot of website projects and content management. So I almost never say I don't know to my clients. So I built websites from scratch. I don't use do-it-yourself platforms, ready templates, or outsource any parts of my signature service.
Thank you. You know, I love this. I mean, something I just picked up on what you've just said, Damla, was you build websites through people's personality. And I think that's a very personal thing to match their website with that person or their industry or their business, which, leading on to my next question, is give us a couple of reasons why we shouldn't go for DIY website platforms, which I'm very guilty of myself.
Well, yeah, thank you for asking this, actually. I think people are not aware of the differences between different platforms. So I would like to explain why. So there are two types of platforms. One is hosted platforms, one is self-hosted platforms. So hosted platforms are like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress.com, Showit. They are costly in the long term. Well, it is easy and cheap. It looks cheap at the beginning to create your website. You can build it using these drag and drop website platforms. However, these hosted platforms, they ask you to pay them a monthly fee as long as you want your website to be up and running. They offer limited customization opportunities. They charge an extra fee if you decide to create a blog, make sales, or maybe do SEO for your website. And you actually don't own your website. So therefore, you cannot transfer your platform or hosting to another platform easily. So it's like building a website, your most important online asset on a rented space.
I've experienced all of that, everything you've just said, and I pay a monthly fee on a couple of, for my, I run health retreats. So I with Squarespace, I pay a monthly fee there. I pay a monthly fee with Wix. And the reason I did choose to do a DIY one before was because I need to make changes on a regular basis. And so I thought if I've got easy access to it, but
you can actually do that with WordPress.org too. So
right, okay.
Yeah, so my solution is WordPress.org. This is an like it allows us to create a custom branded and optimized professional websites that gives the flexibility to grow as your business grows. So if you want to grow your online presence while growing your business, if you want to add revenue channels on the go in the future, like with no extra cost, if you want to feel confident with your own unique online home and start collecting quality leads while keeping your visitors on your website, WordPress.org is the best choice. So it's a self-hosted website platform, as I explained before. It is free and it lets you do customizations as much as you like. We can do integrations with third parties such as like Honeybook, Calendly, Stripe, podcasts, just to name a few. And you own your website and all your customer data. And it allows us to do optimizations and performance improvements. Well, it comes with a lot of flexibility, but it's a bit it might seem it has a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's where I come in. So at the end of my projects, I always provide my clients training videos, how to make changes themselves, and then how to keep the maintenance of their websites, so they don't have to come back to me for small changes. So popular big name brands use WordPress. So it is the most popular content management system, and it is used by over 37% of all webs online. So some examples are The New Yorker, TechCrunch, BBC America, Sony Music, Walt Disney Company, Mercedes-Benz, TED Blog, New York Post, the City University of New York, and the White House. These are only some of them. So when I create websites, design matters, obviously, but because it's important to keep your branding consistent on all your customer touch points so that your clients, potential clients, can consider your business when making it purchase decisions, and they can actually remember you. And that's why the consistency of design, like your visual identity, needs to be applied on your website. It is very important, but it's not the most important thing when it comes to business to websites, because websites are a combination of design, copy, functionalities, performance, security, and all these things, or like searchability. They're all is more like a system. So SEO also matters. So your website is not a brochure. Unfortunately, there are a lot of websites that look like a brochure. I mean, even if you have a website, that doesn't mean Google will see it and index it for search results. So when I build websites, I make sure to optimize your copy, use proper headings, keywords, and enter in meta descriptions so that search engines can actually index your website. It's a long-term project, but when required, I also recommend my clients about, I send them recommendations about increasing their search traffic and improving their SEO. Sorry, here we go. Yeah, so feel confident about your branding and save yourself time, but not having to deal with all these technicalities of WordPress with working with me, basically.
Unmute. Sorry, it takes me, why does it take me so long to unmute? You know, these colors, looking at all the branding, and I've been very guilty of the whole using different fonts on different pages, and I've been sold like just stick with the same, you know, keep that branding the same. So I think you just answered the last question about the improving your search ranking with the SEO. So Damla, thank you so much. I'd love to, this is something I'm very interested in, something I am rubbish at, so something I need to get sorted, I definitely know. And so I will definitely share, let me share your website with everyone. And, you know, if there's any more information we can get from you, please contact Damla directly, because that's, it's something we need and we will always need. Lovely.
So thank you, Sandy. I actually had one more slide about SEO tips if you'd like to hear, or if you have time. Yeah. All right. So so here are some like 10 tips, small tips for small businesses, SEO tips. So all these things are generally overlooked when I check like with your websites. So make sure to use headings on your web pages like H1, H2, H3. Don't use just paragraphs. Another one is target long tail keywords. Like for example, for one page, instead of targeting web agency, like target more something specific and longer, web agency in London, for example. This would help you get higher rankings on the search results. Make sure to add keywords, meta descriptions, and titles on every pages. Add titles and alt tags, which are descriptions for images, to all of your images. Write your copy for the reader, not for search engines, because Google is smart enough to understand that. Search engines love fresh content. If possible, create a blog or like publish blog posts like for your target audience. That would be great. Or change your copy just regularly. Work on the performance of your website. This is very important. To do this, you need to get a good hosting provider, remove unused images, plugins, etc. Make your website mobile friendly. Online user experience is very important for search engines. This is a new algorithm update from Google actually. So make it user friendly and then make it easy for users. Never copy paste content from other websites. You might get penalized by Google. And the last one is to improve your visibility, especially in the local areas. Register your business to online directories. There are a lot of online directories, like free online. You can Google it and use take advantage of Google My Business. It's a free tool by Google, and you can easily make use of it. Thank you for listening.
No, that's brilliant. I'm familiar with some of those tips you've just gave, but it's something I forget to do, and I think it's a long-winded process. Hence, we need other people to do it for us. But that's really valuable. Damla, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. That's really, really interesting. Thank you so much for joining us too.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, just with a minute to go, I'm just going to end off now to thank everybody for joining on this latest Women Warriors Network event. It's always a pleasure to have you all on board, and the amount of people I have who are tuning in is unbelievable at the growth it's developed in just the last few months. So thank you hugely to our speakers, Heidi Malice, to Sarah Fatima, to Damla Hasenclever, and to Noha Hefny. Noha had to slip off a little bit earlier. Thank you all. Please tune in for our next event, which is actually the first commissioned Women Warriors Network commissioned event. It's one of our women warriors, Nadine Van Dongen, from PIP, Patient Intelligence Panel. And her topic is systematic patient engagement in pharma. So it's a bit more of a pharmaceutical based talk, but please, everybody will be welcome to join. And then if you've got any questions, please email me direct. If you're not contacted, email me direct, and please connect with any of the people who are on board. The recording of this will go out in a couple of days. We'll have the edited version, the little version, and the full version. So thank you all once again, guys. It's a pleasure to have you all on board, and please continue to support. And if you'd like to host one of your own events through Women Warriors Network, please do give me a shout. We can discuss it and target your audience plus your specific speakers you'd want to have on board. So thank you all very much. Have an amazing day and see you soon. Thank you.